Hey, welcome back to my channel, Notes by LaRue. It is yours truly, Teacher LaRue, and here I strive to bring you hope, motivation, and encouragement, one note at a time. If you are new to my channel and would like to become one of my beloved note takers, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. Now that the rules are out of the way, grab a pen and a pad and prepare to take some notes because class is officially in session. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. You guessed it. Today we are going to be talking about the people we love, but also don't like sometimes, and that is going to be our beloved family. On yesterday, let me get comfortable. On yesterday, my family and I, particularly the older immediate cousins, we had what we call our first annual cousins brunch. And that's where, of course, like I said, all the cousins, we gather and get together. We eat, we fellowship, we exchange gifts, and we just enjoy some nice quality family time. But as we all know, there would not be a family without any drama. And although my family has had our share of dramas and ups and downs, one thing that I have learned that is extremely important, regardless of what it is that you're going through, regardless of how many arguments that you may have or disagreements or fights even that you may have, at the end of the day, my famous phrase y'all know I love to say, at the end of the day, your family is truly all that you have. And to me, your family is truly all that you need. Of course, especially during this time of year, Christmas time, so many people are grief-stricken. They're still bereaved from the loss of a loved one, no matter if it was yesterday, 5 years ago, or 20 years ago. You're going to always remember your loved one. And it seems that the holidays is the times that people deal with grief for the loss of a loved one, the absolute most and also the absolute worst. I will share some things that I have, learned and have come to terms with, although it took me a minute to get here. I have always been a lover of my family. I'm a huge family person. I come from a family of five. One of the five, obviously. I have, on my mom's side, I have an older brother, two older sisters, and then there's one underneath me. But on my dad's side, I have 5 sisters. One is deceased, so I think it's 5 of them that's left. But overall, like I said, I come from a very big family. I've always prided myself on family. I've always wanted to gather and fellowship with family. But then there are times that I also wanted to separate myself from family. It was not so much that my family was picking on me or doing anything, bad to me. It's just that during the times that I was going through what I was going through, I just thought it was best to just shy away from everybody and separate myself from everybody. And almost to a certain extent, I still do that today. I'm not really an open book, so to speak, but I kind of am because I get on here and I have shared so many personal things that I would have never opened up and, told anybody, but because, I'm a servant for the Lord and I am using my testimony to not only to glorify him, but to help others through whatever it is that they're going through. I kind of have to be an open book, although I'm not open entirely, if that makes any sense to you. I mean, I'll let you read a few chapters of my life. I'll let you get to some high points of my story, but you won't ever really know my true story. And I feel like sometimes that does my viewers and my mentees a disservice, because if I'm not 100% transparent or authentic, it's kind of almost like, it defeats the purpose of what you're saying. And how can you really try and help me when you're not being 100% transparent, I should say. But there's just some things about my life that I don't want to relive again. So I choose not to divulge those details. I mean, it's not something that it's like, oh my God, the world is about to end, but it's just certain stuff. Like I said, I don't want to relive again. And it's just that. But when I was going through all the issues that I was going through, I typically shied away from my family. And during the times that I should have opened up to my family and been more close to them, I just was kind of recluse because honestly, that's just worked best for me. Then too, I did not want the judgment. I did not want to feel like I had disappointed anybody. And on top of that, I just really felt like what I was going through, they really wouldn't have understood. So it was like, you know what, I'm just not. I'm already going through a lot. I'm already trying to figure out why I'm going through this and how I'm going to get through this, and then to have somebody else's criticism or judgment of you on top of what you're already going through. That's just a lot to handle. And like I said, I didn't want to hear it, so I just shut my mouth up about it. But family is extremely important. We all know you only get one group of family, although they may not have necessarily been the bunch that you wanted or you would have chosen for yourself. God deemed fit for them to be your family, and it just is what it is. Either you can accept them for who they are, love them, or you can choose to, as I like to say, love them from afar. There are some family members I have, quite a few family members that I don't necessarily like, but I absolutely love them. I mean, without a shadow of a doubt, I love them, but I don't really like them. And you know, people say, "Oh my God, it is so bad that you don't like your family members," but I'm like, I love them, and to me, love is far greater than like. I would rather somebody to love me than to like me. But I mean, it just is what it is. Like I said, we're not gonna always get along. We're not going to always agree. Sometimes we just have to digress and agree to disagree. But nonetheless, they're still my family. I still love them. I'm still very close-knit with them. Some of them I would like to be closer than what I am with them, but because of maybe reasons they have, and because of my own, or it could be because of the times that I had shied away from them and I had all this anger and this rage built up in me, that I took a lot of my frustration out on my family members. So maybe some of them are not, you know, so forgiving, you know, or don't want to like me again, so to speak. But as long as they love me truly and honestly, that is all that I am concerned about. We don't have to be best friends. We don't have to eat with each other. We don't have to hang out with each other. And I'm okay knowing that I exist and I'm doing fine, and they're okay. They exist and they're doing fine. Because like I said, regardless of what transpires between us, any of us, I am still going to love my family. Again, some of them I just have to love from over yonder, and they have to love me from over there. But I'm not mad about it. But like I said, you're not going to always agree with your family. I have some family members that we bump heads quite a lot. I'm not going to say we fight because we don't physically fight, but we bump heads quite a lot, and I have just chopped it up to be that I almost hate to say that that's just how it's going to be, but I mean, essentially, that's just how it's going to be. It's been that way for years. I have worked to change it. I want it to change, but, you know, I have just coming to the conclusion that it's probably not going to change. But even though our relationship, so to speak, is probably not going to change for the better, although I would hope it would, I can't change the fact that we're relatives. So we just have to deal with each other. And we also have to respect people for who they are and where they are in life. You know, a lot of times people separate themselves from their families, and, you know, the family automatically insinuate that, oh, well, maybe it's something that I've done or maybe something that I've said. But to be honest, it's not necessarily something that you've done or what you said. It's just something that that person could be going through in their life, hence me. It was nothing that my family, you know, said or did to me that made me want to shy away from them. It was just that what I was battling, going through my own personal demons, and I just felt like being alone was the best thing for me. And I work better when I don't open up and share my problems with certain people, I should say, because, you know, it's no secret I went to therapy, and to be honest, hell, I didn't want to share my problems with that lady. And I went to therapy for 14 months, and I would tell you, like, the first month that I went, it was a complete waste of my money. And I say that because it was my own fault. I would go in there, I would not be honest, I would not speak. To be totally honest, I would just sit there and look at that lady. I would look between her and my watch, literally counting down until my 60 minutes was up. And one day I came in there and she says, hey, listen, you do know I still get paid regardless if you talk or not. So don't bother me if you don't want to speak, because I still get a check at the end of the day. When I tell you, this lady was so 100. Matter of fact, she kept it so 1,000. Like, at first I was so intimidated by this woman. I was like, oh my God. But when she really just told me, she was like, listen, I am here for you. This is a judgment-free zone. You know, I don't know you. I don't know anything about you. It's no more than a client therapist relationship. What you tell me is not going to walk out this room. Besides, I will get sued for it. You know, it's not going to walk out this room. It's not going to appear on my Facebook or, you know, my Instagram or Twitter. And that's another thing that disturbs me with, family, well, individuals just in general. One thing that I've always hated is that if I confide in you with something, that means I want it to stay between you and I, or me and those particular individuals. I don't want you to use that as your way of lodging your attacks on me once we have a disagreement to say, oh, well, that's why you do da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, no, because, you know, we just not going to do that. Like, I told you that in confidence, and I expected you to keep it to yourself. I didn't expect you to open up and, one, tell everybody everything that I've shared with you. And two, I don't want you to try to use something against me that you know would essentially hurt me. But one thing I have said that I've become really good at is that I don't allow people to hurt me with the things that no longer hurt me, if that makes sense. Like, if I share something with somebody and I say, oh, you know, they just really hurt me and made me feel so bad, and then they try to turn around and spin it and use the thing that used to hurt me against me to hurt me presently, it does not hurt me, because I'm past that. I'm beyond it. The hurt no longer resides here, so it's kind of like a mute point, so to speak. It's like, so you said all that to be saying exactly what? That no longer bothers me and affects me. But regardless if they may share some things that I have confided in them in, it's just enough for me to say, you know what? I still love you, but I won't tell you another thing, because I know if I do, the minute you become angry or we have a disagreement, you are going to throw it up in my face. And who wants to be reminded of something in their past that was hurtful, or that they have gotten beyond, but yet somebody want to still hold you hostage to that, so to speak. And it's kind of like in my situation where I have grown and evolved completely. Not just as a woman, but as a person, my attitude, my behavior, my thought process, all of that. And it's like people want to hold me hostage to the negative person, because I was negative. You know, I admit that, to the negative person that I used to be. And it's like, that is no longer me. That's not who I am. So because that's not who I am, can you free me, please, from the person that I once was? That is no longer my life. That is no longer my attitude, my outlook on life. I'm in a better position in my life. So truly just accept me for who I am. But a lot of people don't want you to grow. It's such a shame. They don't want you to grow. When I say grow, I'm talking about they don't want you to grow mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. They don't want you to grow financially. They want you to be exactly where you are. Some people are stagnant and stuck. They want people to be on their level, because they feel like if you get any higher than them, then we no longer share a commonality. Like, because we're here, we both struggling. But if you get up here, you ain't struggling no more. But I'm still down here struggling myself. And it's kind of like you got the one edge or one leg up on me, and you're better than me, and I'm down here. And we all know what they say, the crabs in a bucket mentality. Yes, that can go for family as well. But regardless of your differences that you may have, because you're going to have your differences, nobody is perfect. Nobody says, again, like I said, nobody says you have to be best friends, bosom buddies. Nobody says, oh, well, just because, and I'm gonna say this because a lot of people feel like, well, just because oh, she's my sister, or oh, she's my brother, oh, that's my cousin, like I have to hang out with them. I have to have a quote unquote that type of relationship with them, even though everyone should strive to have that type of close-knit relationship with your family. But again, it does not always happen that way. And it's so unfortunate, but that's what makes us who we are. That's what makes us different. And again, we just have to accept people where they are. And some people, you really just have to meet them where they are. If they're not going to rise above to you, and when I say meet them where they are, I'm not saying lower yourself or anything like that, but it's just that some people, they don't want to grow. They don't want to be better. They don't want to get better. It is not to say, oh, because they're negative, have a bad attitude, then you got to jump down on their level and you got to be negative, have a bad attitude. No. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is if that's who they choose to be, let them be their way. Don't you adopt that type of attitude. Don't you be the person that they are, because a lot of times people, they're trying to bring you down to their level. And when I say meet them in their level, I'm not saying, oh, well, because they got a bad attitude, well, I got a bad attitude too. Since they won't come up here where I am, that I got it. No. Some people, meet them at their level, not for the bad things, but for the good things that you're trying to bring out in them, if I'm making any type of sense. And maybe I'm not really explaining it right, but like I said, meeting someone at their level is not necessarily a bad thing, because I have met a lot of people at their level. I have not got down there and done, well, that's a lie. I have done some of the crazy things that they have done, but I remember I was like, you know what? I know where that person is. I know what they're going through because I was once there. I know how to get back down there and go where they are. Not for the negative, but for the good, to say, hey, listen, I'm going to come down here with you for a hot second because I got to tell you something. I'm not going back to that person I used to be, but I just got to tell you something that's going to give you just enough to want to bring yourself up. But again, they have to want to change for themselves. If they don't, and they see their lives going down the wrong path, they're going down a bad rabbit hole, so to speak. If their lives is spiraling down, we can see it. We know they can see it, but for whatever reasons, they don't see it from our lens, so to speak. It's like, oh, I've been doing this forever. This is my life. You only got one life to live. You're going to let me live my life, and you're not going to tell me what to do. And, the list goes on and on. Surely. Now, it's not that a person is necessarily trying to tell you what to do. They're just trying to say, hey, listen, that may not be the best direction or the best move for you. I understand that this is your life and you're going to live it the way you deem fit, but right now you're not living a good life. You're living a very unfit life. And it's so unfortunate because some of my relatives and I, we were engaging in conversations last night during our First Cousins annual brunching. And we were just talking about, certain individuals, how we want so much more for themselves and they don't, is that you see the life that they're living and the destruction the path, I should say, that they're on. They're like headed for destruction, but they don't see it. And you talk and you talk and you talk and talk until you're basically exhausted from talking to them, but then it's like they're not listening. And at that point, I said, hey, you've done your due diligence as the family member, their loved one, especially the older family. You are their older family member. You would think that they would look up to you and take your advice, but for whatever reasons, they don't want to. So at the end of the day, you just really have to let people be. You don't want anything bad to happen to them. Surely you don't. You pray that nothing bad happens to them, but you just pray that one day they will realize and wake up like, okay, now I see what Deidre was trying to tell me, or now I see what such and such was trying to tell me. I did not get it then, but I got it now. Or sometimes it's going to take people hitting rock bottom to say, okay, dang it, now I see what she was talking about. I got it. I'm good. I'm going to do better. I'm going to be better. And hopefully they do it before anything bad happens. But just to go back and, really get back on topic of what I was saying about the importance of family. A lot of times we do not realize the importance of family because we are in family turmoil. We're constantly fighting. We're constantly bickering. We're constantly arguing, whether it be about money, whether it be about, you betrayed me, because we do have some Judases in the family. Let's be clear on that one thing. Everybody got a Judas in their family. Clear on that. But whatever the case is that you are bickering or in turmoil about, we just really feel like, oh, well, you know what, that's not my family, and they don't treat me like family, and so I don't want nothing to do with them. And it's sad because you have a lot of people that will go years, I mean, absolute years, with harboring resentment, not speaking to their loved ones. And this is gonna sound so ugly when I say this, but first of all, I hate the pandemic. I hate that COVID, you know, ever came about. I hate that it even exists to this day. But although a lot of people say, well, you know, COVID was just nothing but bad. Oh, we know it was, because it has claimed the lives of so many people. And by God's goodness, grace, and absolute mercy, my dad had COVID, and thank God he made it out. I mean, he made it through. Hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. Continue to be with those who have it and allow them to get well and make it through as well. But I remember when COVID first hit, and I mean, everybody was just in an uproar about what was going on. And it is not that I did not take it serious, because I absolutely took it serious, and I take it serious now. And I do my due diligence to, you know, to sanitize, stay clean, and make sure I wear my mask. Not just for myself, but for others as well. But when that deadly virus came about, I saw so many people reaching out, extending an olive branch to their family and saying, hey, you know what? I know I may have been MIA for so many years, you know, and I've witnessed this on my Instagram page where people have had like their testimonial, so to speak, when they say, oh, well, you know, it's just really not worth it. You bickering and arguing, and you only got one life to live, and you only have, you know, one set of family members, and, you know, once they transition on, like, that's it. I mean, there's no going back. There's no saying, oh, hey, oh my God, Deidre, I'm so sorry. Like, I really want to apologize. Like, I mean, you can apologize to a dead body, but it's like, what's the point? You know, you should have done that while that individual was alive. And I would say I am the bigger person. A lot of times have not always been that way, but I have chosen to be the bigger person a lot. I know the error of my ways, and I have, and I still am working so hard to try to correct them. But one thing I do want to say and make mention of is that although you're going to have people that you get into it with, or altercations with, or whatever, whether it may be physical or, you know, verbal, just because you apologize does not mean that it's gonna make everything right. Had to learn that too. But one thing I will say, although it may not make everything right, it makes me better. It not only makes me better as a person, but it makes me feel a whole lot better. Even though we know, so that just doesn't make sense, because you want the person to forgive you. And I understand, yes, you do want the person to forgive you, but you have to also realize and understand that regardless of what you say, and regardless of what you do, sometimes the damage that you do can, quote unquote, not be undone. And it just is what it is. You know, the only thing you can say, or your real reward, I should say, is, even though you want their forgiveness, but your real reward should be is that, you know what, I've come to terms with the person I used to be. I did not like it, so I worked very hard to change it. My attitude, everything, you know, it reflects that. And although that person may not, you know, forgive me, I'm okay with that, because I know that that person that I once was, when I treated them in that way, I'm no longer that person. That's my reward and my joy that I get. I know it may sound, you know, so foolish, but I mean, it just is what it is. You know, I wrote a book, Words Are Weapons 2, Understanding the Power of Your Words. And the opening of my book, my chapter was, I'm sorry. And it was basically an apology letter to everybody that I have offended or hurt, whether it had been a family member, friends, former friends, acquaintances, you know, whomever it was that has come in path with me and I've hurt them. I was basically saying, hey, listen, I'm sorry I did that. I really am. Not to excuse my behavior or that I can justify. It was just that during that time or those times, I was going through some stuff in my life that I ain't know how to deal with. So I just dealt with it the best way I knew how, and it's so unfortunate, but the way I dealt with it, it ended up not only hurting myself, but it ended up hurting a lot of people. And I'm not gonna say I lost some relationships behind it, but I will say I had offended and hurt a lot of people, and I just only hope that I only hope that that letter, I hope that they accepted that letter as my forgiveness, even though I know. And when I say the stuff that I did, I'm not talking about like I did some cruel, horrible stuff. Like I ain't sleep with nobody, man. I did not steal from nobody. I ain't care for nobody. You know, I didn't hurt nobody, you know, physically, anything like that. It was more so emotionally. And some people may have been, you know, mentally, because I have always had I've always had a way with words, no pun intended, because I am an author. But when I say I've always had a way with words, I did not necessarily, I ain't gonna say necessarily, I didn't mince my words. Whatever came up, came out. I told you exactly what I wanted you to know, and I told you what was exactly on my mind. But now I don't do that. Even though that other girl does try to come up sometimes, I say, hey, okay, no, I don't need you right now. When the time comes, if I should need you, I know how to find you. Yeah, I know how to find you, but right now that's not what we're doing. We are on some new-ish. We doing better. We are better, so therefore we're going to do better. And I'm going to challenge you all to do the same. Like I said, you don't have to be that way. And, you know, who'll say, oh, well, you know, well, you're not going to talk to me in any kind of way. And I won't let people know who I am and, you know, what I stand. You can do that. You can let people know who you are without this. You can let people know who you are without this. You can let people know who you are without going off with this. You can absolutely let people know who you are. You can still be a strong individual, and it's not to say, oh, if I don't pipe up or speak up, then they're gonna think they're gonna think that I'm weak, and so they can just walk all over me and do it. No, because people already know. Even though I don't bring the other girl back up, but people know you will not talk to me any kind of way. My hand's going down. You will not talk to me any kind of way. You will not do me any kind of way. You will not think, not in the least bit at all, that you can do something to me that's going to hurt me and that you're going to walk away and get away with it. No, you will not do that. I'm going to get you, but it's going to be now. I do it now with more tact. I mince my words as opposed to me not mincing them before, but I mince my words now. Sometimes, you know, I eat a lot of my words. You know, they come up, but I just swallow them back down and say, no, not today. You know, because I tell people all the time, you do know whether you want to agree with it or not, silence is a response. I don't care what nobody says. Silence is a response. And when I tell you, when I figured out, silence works best and it hurts them more than you actually engaging in a verbal conversation with them or verbal altercation with them, I just be quiet and I let them speak and I let them go on and on and on and on, and eventually they just shut the hell up because it's like, okay, it's just me and this thing. They are inviting you to a fight with them, but like I tell people all the time, just because somebody, you know, invites you to a fight does not mean you have to accept the invitation. Decline. Rightfully and respectfully decline the invitation. I have got invited to so many fights, mainly verbal, because I'm not a really fist fight type of person, and nobody has really come at me that way, and I guess because they knew better. But a lot of times I was like, you know what, I see exactly what they're trying to do. I'm not gonna do it. It can be your family. It can be. But most of the times it's people that are outside of our family. But like I said, you do have family members. They want you to go back and forth with them. They're petty. They want you to be tit for tat. And I used to be that way. I really did. And I always felt like, oh, I got to get my point across. Oh, you're not going to say it to me and think you're going to get away with it. But now it's like, when you come for me, I guess they say, you know, I didn't sin for you. You can come for me. I'm going to sit right there. I'm going to ignore you. I may look at you, and then again, I may not look at you. I may decide I want to pop my earphones in. I want to watch TV or whatever the case may be. I am going to disengage from you because I'm not going to cave in and give you what you want, because then it only sets me back. It sets my progress back, and then I'm looking and saying to myself, now you promised that you was going to do better. You said when God delivered you from that, you was going to do better. Now look at you. You going right back down that hole with the devil, the enemy wants you to be. And you know, a lot of people, the devil using you and you don't even know it. I was one of them. He was using me, and it's like, I didn't even realize the enemy was using me. But when God set me free from all of that, I said, okay, Lord, I promise. I got to make this right with you. I got to do this thing right. And I'm not going to always get it right because I am not perfect. I am trying so hard and so desperately to quit using profanity. I'm going to perfect it one day, but it's going to take me a minute to get there. You know, I was just sharing with my sisters that I was like, you know, I'm trying to do even better as a person because I want to live my life 100% for God. I want to be completely sold out for God. And I said, you know what? If I shy away from certain events, it's nothing, you know, personal towards anybody at all. It's just that some environments that I'm in, and I'm not saying my folks are bad people or bad influences because they're not, but it's just some settings that I'm in where there's a lot of profanity or a lot of gossip or negativity within my family and without, you know, outside of my family. I have to shy away from stuff like that because it's so triggering for me to be like, oh yeah, you know what, good, you surely is right, or dude, you surely is right. And it's like, you back the way you started. And like I said again, it just it'll only set me back, and it'll really do me a disservice, and it'll really do the people that God is using me to help. So I'm just like, you know what, in order for me to not engage, I just have to disengage and just shy away. I still love you. Absolutely love you. I'm not saying it's going to always be this way, but when there are situations that I'm in, again, whether it be with family or outside of my family, if there are situations that I'm in that I just don't feel comfortable being in, I'm not going to stay there because, oh, well, that's my family and I don't want them to talk about me and I don't want them to feel a certain kind of way, or, oh, well, that's my acquaintance. You know, I'm very careful when I say friends because, to be totally honest, I don't really have no friends, and I'm just being honest. Now, I have been a friend to a lot of people, but they are they're just not my friends. And I've always been one of the people that always wanted friends, but now it's like, what they say, who needs enemies when you have friends, or who has friends when you need enemies? Whatever I'm trying to say, but you all know what I'm talking about. But yes, whether it's within my family or outside of my family, I just shy away from certain stuff. And like, you know, I tell myself, listen, just bear with me. I'm not perfect. I'm never going to be perfect. I am not striving for perfection. That is something that I'm not going to ever do that. No, because only God is perfect. Like I said, I'm never going to try to strive for perfection. But what I will say is I'm always constantly striving to be a better version of myself. This year has been phenomenal for me in spite of COVID, in spite of the elimination of my job, in spite of so many things. 2020 has still been good to me, and God has been more than good to me. And I said, you know what, girl, I applaud you. I like the woman that you were. Well, I like the woman that you are this year, but for 2021, oh, we're going to take it up another notch. And we're just going to continue to, you know, improve and we'll continue to improve and work on me. And hopefully the person that I am continuously evolving, because it's a continuous process. I'm never going to ever say, well, oh, I love the woman that I am now, so I'm just going to stop right here. No, because there's always room for improvement. It's always something else that I know that I can work on and I can change. And when I say change, I'm not necessarily talking about the outer appearance. I'm talking about on the inside, because it to me is what matters the most, and it's just it's what shines, you know, the most as well. But I wanted to tell you all today, especially for those who are estranged from their family, there are going to be times when your family members absolutely get on your nerves. There are going to be some things that they do to you that are so hurtful and beyond imaginable. And there are going to be some things that they're going to say to you that are so detrimental, hurtful, and beyond imaginable. Like, I just cannot believe my mama would say something like that. Oh my God, that is my sister doing it. Like, wow, that's my dad. That's my brother. That's my cousin, my aunt, uncle. Whoever they are, whatever relation they are to you, I'm not saying it's to justify anybody's behavior, but what I am saying is people are human beings. We are not free from error. We are all flawed. Every last one of us. I don't care how good we say we are, our character. Everybody is flawed, and everybody is capable of saying and doing something that's going to hurt the other person. Forgive them. please, I really ask you to forgive those individuals. Just as I have asked others to forgive me. Some people, I know it can be extremely hard because of the nature or severity, I should say, of what has happened between you and that individual, but truly it's just not worth it at the end of the day. It's just not. And you miss out on a lot with that person because you chose to be estranged from that person. And it's so unfortunate that a lot of people, the only time they really see their family members or engage with them is when somebody transition on. And that's such a terrible way to meet, especially on those circumstances. And especially if the deceased individual is the person that they had the conflict with and they have estranged themselves from that person because you never got the opportunity to make amends with them because you allowed your bitterness and your anger. You allowed your bitterness and your anger to get the best of you and to ultimately say, you know what, we just not gonna fool with that person. So it's so it's disturbing and it's so unfortunate and it really is a shame. So not just particularly because it's this holiday season, you know, a lot of people say, oh, well, you know, because that's the time that you really seem to, for some people, you really seem to miss your loved one the most. The holidays is just so triggering for you and you don't want to be around people and it's just like, no, I just want to be to myself, you know. Yes, you probably are still, you know, grieving their death, but you are probably still upset and mad with yourself that you have allowed, or I should say that they have transitioned on and you never got the opportunity to say, hey, well, I really am sorry. Or, hey, you know what, although you did this, although you said that to me, I accept your apology. But some of us, we just really have to do better at being the better person and walk away. Like I said about 10-15 minutes ago, I love all my family members. When I say I love every last one of them God gave to me, both alive and deceased, I love every last one of them, but there are quite a number of them that I don't like. And I know that may disturb some people, or it may say, oh, well, how can you say you love them? I didn't say I didn't love my folks. I said I love my folks. I just said there are just some of them that I do not like. Whether it be their behavior, their attitude, or just some things about them that is so off-putting to me, and I'm pretty sure, like I said earlier, vice versa, because I do have some family members that I'm not extremely close with. It's really only a handful of them that I am extremely close with, and that's the immediates, the cousins that I have, and of course my siblings that I celebrated with on yesterday. Would I like to be closer with them? Absolutely. Is there ever going to come a point in time where we will be close? I don't know. Who knows? It just really depends upon if I'm willing to continue to put in the work, and if they are willing to put in the work also, and we extend the olive branch to each other. I don't know. Who knows? I'm hoping so. I'm very hopeful and prayerful that it will happen. But in the event that it does not, I love my folks. I have done what I feel like is absolute best, you know, to apologize and to be a better person, because, and I'm not just doing it because one day they're not going to be here. I'm doing it because I really do honestly want to be, I want to be a better person, a better woman, better sister, better daughter, better friend, better auntie, better mentor. So I said all of that to say, yes, you do only have one life to live, and you can live it however you deem fit. But you only also have one family. And once your family is gone, then what? Once your life is gone, then what? So set your differences aside, bridge the gap, lose the estrangement, love, excuse me, absolutely love your family members, because I would really hate for somebody to say, oh my God, if only I knew that was the last time that I was going to speak to them, the last time I was going to talk to them, the last time I was going to hug them. I would have hugged them a little bit longer. I would have talk to them a little bit more, and most importantly, I would have told them that I love them. As always, I thank you so much for watching. Have a little faith. And until next time, my note takers. Bye-bye.